Welcome back to Capital Catch-Up. I'm Victor.
And I'm Lenny. We are looking at a packed slate from the 119th Congress this week, covering everything from the pipes running under our feet to the satellites orbiting above us.
Let's start on the ground, literally. We have companion legislation moving through both chambers regarding energy infrastructure. In the House, we have House Resolution 5301, the Pipes Act of 2025. And over in the Senate, Senate Bill 2975, the Pipeline Safety Act of 2025.
It's interesting to see the parallel tracks here. Historically, pipeline reauthorization is a battleground between environmental safety advocates and industry efficiency. These bills are essential because the Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration needs reauthorization to keep inspecting the millions of miles of infrastructure we rely on. If these don't pass, oversight creates a massive gap.
Exactly. And while infrastructure is often bipartisan, labor laws are where we see the ideological divide sharpen. We have Senate Bill 3780, the Give America a Raise Act. Based on previous iterations, this is likely a push to hike the federal minimum wage, which hasn't moved since 2009.
But countering that philosophy, Victor, we have House Resolution 1319, the Modern Worker Empowerment Act. Listeners should pay attention to the title. This is usually code for solidifying the independent contractor status for gig workers, preventing them from being classified as employees. It's a direct response to previous administration efforts to tighten labor classifications.
So we have one bill trying to raise the floor for wages, and another trying to redefine what a wage earner actually looks like. And speaking of labor and optics, there's Senate Bill 3766, the Make Congress Drive Union-Made Act.
That's a messaging bill if I've ever heard one. It would require members of Congress to use union-manufactured vehicles for official travel. It's symbolic, but it puts lawmakers on the spot regarding their support for domestic manufacturing.
Moving to national security and appropriations, we have the behemoth, House Resolution 4016, the Department of Defense Appropriations Act for 2026.
This is the power of the purse in action. While the National Defense Authorization Act sets the policy, this bill actually writes the check. We're likely looking at debates over procurement and whether the top-line number keeps pace with inflation.
Related to defense, there was a significant committee meeting on February 26th. It was a closed briefing on tech competition, critical minerals, and supply chain security.
Closed briefing means classified information was shared, so we won't see a transcript. But the topic, critical minerals, is vital. It links directly to our ability to produce batteries and chips independent of foreign adversaries. This ties into House Resolution 7334, the National Commission on Robotics Act. Congress is finally trying to get ahead of the curve on automation rather than just reacting to it.
Privacy is another tech angle we're seeing. Senate Bill 3779, the ICE Out of Our Faces Act, is on the docket. This addresses the use of facial recognition technology by Immigration and Customs Enforcement. It's a privacy issue that creates strange bedfellows between civil libertarians on the left and privacy hawks on the right.
And speaking of consumer protection, we have Senate Bill 3774, the Scam Act. While the text is fresh, this usually targets telemarketing fraud and holds carriers accountable for spoofed calls.
Let's shift to health and safety, Lenny. There are two bills here that could have profound impacts on specific communities.
Right. First is House Resolution 6494, the Territories Health Equity Act of 2025. For decades, U.S. territories like Puerto Rico and Guam have faced caps on Medicaid funding that states don't face. This bill aims to remove that ceiling. It's a matter of equal treatment for American citizens who happen to live in territories.
Then there is Senate Bill 3775, the Stop Underrides Act 2.0. This refers to the safety guards on the sides and back of semi-trucks to prevent cars from sliding underneath them in a crash. This has been fought over since the 1960s due to cost objections from the trucking lobby, but the 2.0 designation suggests a new compromise might be on the table.
We also have House Resolution 6392, the Homeschool Graduation Recognition Act. This would likely mandate that federal entities, like the military or federal employers, treat homeschool diplomas as legally equivalent to public school credentials without extra hurdles.
Shifting gears to foreign policy, House Resolution 7055, the Restoring Sovereignty and Human Rights in Nicaragua Act of 2026, signals a tougher stance on the Ortega regime.
This is timed with a raft of State Department nominations. We've got Jeremy Carl nominated for Assistant Secretary of State for International Organizations and Wesley Brooks for Oceans and International Environmental and Scientific Affairs.
Plus, a slate of ambassadors, William Long to Iceland, Robert Sweeney to the Asian Development Bank, and Todd Stegerta to the UN in Geneva. It is worth noting the backlog in the Senate. These nominees often sit in limbo for months.
Domestic agencies are filling ranks too. Christopher T. Hansen is up for reappointment to the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. With the current push for nuclear energy as a clean power source, his role is going to be pivotal over the next 5 years.
We also see nominations for Kevin Lilly for Fish and Wildlife, Scott Socha for Director of the National Park Service, and Ashley Stowe for the Federal Election Commission.
The FEC nomination is critical as we approach the midterms. A deadlocked FEC means campaign finance laws go unenforced.
I want to highlight a heavy but necessary committee business meeting from the 26th. The Judiciary Committee considered several bills, including House Resolution 6719 and Senate Bills 3398, 3397, and 3394.
These all center on child protection. They criminalize threats to minors, enhance penalties for child sexual abuse material, or CSAM, and penalize coercion. It's a comprehensive update to Title 18 of the U.S. Code. It's grim subject matter, but it shows a bipartisan commitment to closing loopholes that predators use online.
Finally, looking at the Congressional Daily Records from mid-February, volumes 172, numbers 29 through 33, we see a lot of these bills being read into the record. For those who don't know, the record is the official diary of Congress. If it's not in the record, it technically didn't happen.
It's where you find the extension of remarks, speeches that weren't actually given on the floor but are inserted to look like they were.
So what should listeners watch for in the coming days?
Watch the Strong Start Act, Senate Bill 3770. Early childhood education is a massive expense for families. If that gains traction, it's a big deal for the middle class. And keep an eye on that DoD appropriations bill. If that stalls, we start hearing the word shutdown again.
And I'm watching the National Commission on Robotics Act. It sounds sci-fi, but it's actually about the future of the workforce. That's all for this week.
Thanks for listening to Capital Catch-Up.